All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Teen Kramer with Brian the Grizzly, and we
What's
are
up,
going to
guys?
talk about Wish, the new Disney fantasy musical animated film that came out this past weekend. We're gonna give it a full review, give our ratings, our likes, our dislikes, all that good stuff. But before we go, Brian, you got a quick breakdown of what this movie is about?
Sure, I'm gonna read it out for you guys. We got young Asha makes a wish so powerful that it's answered by a cosmic force. A little ball of boundless energy called Star.
Mhm.
With Star's help, Asha must help save the kingdom from King Magnifico and prove that when there's a will of one's courage or courageous human connects with the magic of a star, wondrous things can happen. And there was a lot of stuff with that star, and AMC should be ashamed of themselves for selling that star for $30.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. $30. I was like, damn, because
30 bucks.
like I was like, you want to get in? Erica's like, oh, let's see how it is after the movie. After the movie, she's like, okay, let's get it. And we saw the price. We're like, oh, not for that price.
Yeah. I bought a cup.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Wide open.
for that price, you can go to Target and get the actual plushie and enjoy it more,
Yeah.
than the big old popcorn bucket. But yeah, but AMC's gonna do what they do and sell, sell whatever kind of popcorn buckets they can. Um, cool. Yeah. So right off the bat, this one's got a pretty big cast. Ariana DeBose. She's best known for Hamilton. She was in one of the original Hamilton cast. I don't think she was in anything else too big. I know she's been in other things, other musicals. Um, but that's probably the other West Side Story. She was in also,
Yeah.
but
She's gonna be in
but
Craven. Yeah.
ugh, maybe not.
And
Maybe skip that
Argyle.
one. Okay, yeah, that one looks good. So but yeah, we're gonna talk about her. She played Asha. Chris Pine was
Mhm.
King Magnifico. Alan Tudyk
It,
was
is it
Valentino.
was that not awesome? Chris Pine talking about how handsome he is.
Ah, that was that was so meta on so many levels. It was great. Like, and I thought his voice was gonna be a little distracting, because Chris Pine doesn't really change voices.
Mhm.
Um, but it
Honestly,
fitted
I
really
forgot.
well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot that was Chris Pine.
yeah. Where like somebody like Alan Tudyk literally, is a man of many voices, so he was Valentino, which is the goat. Evan Peters was in this one, so we had a decent amount of other famous voice actors, but those are your
Mm.
main kind of guys right there. The with Asha and King Magnifico. But cool. We'll start off with some of our likes. What did you like about this one, Brian?
I love the characters. I thought the characters were awesome. I
Mm,
thought Asha was amazing. King Magnifico was awesome. Sabino was good.
yeah.
Queen Amaya. Queen Amaya was cool. I think they could have highlighted her a little bit more, but she was very cool. Valentino obviously was great. They're very likable characters, and even the villain. I enjoyed the villain because he's villain, whatever. Because we had this whole argument about who is he a villain or not. I enjoyed him. I thought he was cool. I understood where he was coming from. He just was a dick. So it's just what it was. But I enjoyed these things. I thought they had a decent story, but the story could have been a little bit better. Um, I thought the music was fun. It
Hmm.
wasn't catchy, but it was fun. It was a little bit too wordy. That's what I mean. It was a little bit too
Wording.
wordy. Like
Hmm.
but the music was good. It made sense. It evoked emotion. Um, Watching it, especially me, having little girls
Hmm.
there, those always, it brings emotions when I see little, girls growing up. And that's what you saw with Asha. Asha's turn going from 17 to 18. She's growing up. She's going to start giving her wish out. She wants to be an apprentice and all these things, but she stands for what she knows. And
Hmm.
I thought that was very cool too. And then of course, her being multiracial, being in the Mediterranean, she has different cultures pulling at her, which is very cool. I thought all those things mean it was an interesting movie, and I don't understand why it's getting as much hate as it is, but my initial thought was very good. I liked
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I watched a lot of the initial hate videos after I seen this movie because I was kind of like seeing why people are hating on it, and a lot of it was nitpicking on little things and stuff like that, and talking about like small details where I'm like, yeah, it's not that important, you know what I mean? Because it's a fairy tale. This one felt like a fairy tale, very magical fairy tale kind of story, and I think Disney hasn't really done that in a while. You know,
She
like
becomes a
Encanto.
fairy
Yeah,
godmother.
yeah. Well, that was another like what I loved. What a lot of people hated was people were like, "Oh, this was just a cash grab," and they put in a bunch of Disney um, Easter eggs or member berries, and I'm like, yes, they did, but they did it in a way where it didn't feel forced. And if you notice things, then you noticed it. But if you didn't, it didn't change the movie. Like there's a scene in here where I think Erica nudged me. She goes, "Oh, look, the poison apple." I was like, "What?" And then it was like, "Oh, cool, it's right there," and it makes sense for why it was right there. So I enjoyed all the little Easter eggs, for
Disney's
sure.
always done that, right? I mean, they've
Disney's old,
always put this
especially
stuff.
Pixar. What I know this is not a Pixar one, but Pixar does
Isn't
it
it
all.
Disney Pixar?
No, this is the Disney
Oh,
animated. Yeah, this is
yeah,
just Disney. Which I'm sure it's still, the Pixar guys help them out, or I'm
yeah.
assuming, but Disney has their animated and the Pixar, and this is like their animated one. Which it should be fairy tale. That's what Disney's known for, and they haven't done a fairy tale kind of one in a while. Encanto, maybe a little bit, but I never felt fairy tale esque, because there's
Yeah, it was,
dilemmas
and
and
they
not a bad guy. It's magical, very magical, obviously.
yeah, I
You know,
mean,
but
Elisa, yeah,
with what? Oh yeah, well,
yeah,
but
carrying
you know,
goats.
yeah, all that. There was magic. But this just felt like an old school fairy tale, and I appreciate it. The singing. Um, I was kind of at first. I'm like, okay, I don't know if any of the songs are going to be catchy, but it's kind of weird because I never thought "Let It Go" was going to be catchy, And Jesus Christ, that's like the catchiest freaking song now. Every little kid sings it. Um, and a lot of songs like "We Don't Talk About Bruno." I'm like, oh, it's a cool
We
song,
don't talk
but
about
I didn't think I don't know if it was gonna be catchy. One, it's more of a Spanish kind of vibes, which are already gonna put off a lot of people. But it's also
no,
Emmanuel. You don't question him. I think this one has a lot of that. The "I Make This Wish" one. I think it was a really good song. My favorite song, which I forget, somebody in our chat was talking about earlier, was Chris Pine's like evil song of "This Is the Things I Get." Like that was super catchy. The oh man, I was that was my favorite song of the whole movie. But I think all the songs were really good, and I loved all the callbacks. I love the re-envisioning of the seven dwarves as the friends. Like I like that. It didn't feel forced. It just felt like, oh, okay, here's her friends, but we're also gonna kind of give them a little bit of the seven dwarfy kind of vibes, but it doesn't feel like you know too much. So, but
I thought they should have leaned into that more, personally.
yeah. I mean, they could have. I would have been cool, but it's a fine line. You don't want to go too hardcore where you're like, oh, those are the seven dwarves, but you want to enough where you kind of like you understood right away. I was like, oh yeah, that's Dopey. That's Doc. Like right away, I knew who those characters were. Which is kind of cool because then it's paying homage to what came before it, which is what this movie does because it's the 100th movie in the 100th year. So it's definitely got to do stuff like that, but it also like helps maybe some of these kids like, oh, where does that reference from? Like, oh, this very old movie that's older than Mommy and Daddy. It's like Snow White and Bambi and stuff like that. So those were all kind of like cool little references. I guess there was a big
Mhm.
problem where people were saying the animation didn't look finished.
It didn't agree.
And yeah, I thought it
I
looked
saw the
good.
Dolby sound, Dolby music,
There, yeah.
so
I mean,
Dolby was awesome.
oh man, I know Erica wants to see this one again, so we might go see it in Adobe screen. But I felt like if it looked kind of new school, but still had hints of like old school 2D kind of stuff. I kind of wish they went full 2D, but kids today wouldn't appreciate 2D. You know, they're like, why does it look old? Yeah. So, but I think that's why a lot of people were, complaining about the animation. But what you got for your dislikes?
I think they just could have done a better job on a few things. Kind of as I was talking about before. I think the songs were too adult. Not like this adult content, but
Mm,
when I'm telling you, with songs that really hit for kids, have to be very very simple. Something they can remember because it's all words they use, and it's repeatable. And I think a lot of these things were eloquent. It was beautifully like it was very smartly done. The music
mm,
was done, smart done, and I enjoyed it but I can't repeat any of those songs off memory because there's a lot of stuff going on. I made this wish. All of it made perfect sense, but it's too much for a little kid to just be able to come and recite Akuna Matata. It's just this word,
mm,
like that's it. It makes it simple and something they can repeat. And I think that it hurts a little bit with that. I think the characters they introduced a lot of different characters, and they didn't really dive deep into a lot. Some of them, were introduced that you probably didn't need, but the reason they did it, we know, is because it said several dwarfs. That's why he has
mm,
these friends. We see it, but when you introduce all those characters, and I ask my kids, do you remember any of the characters' names? And they can only remember one. That tells me maybe you didn't need all those characters.
mm.
Maybe you introduced too many and you can't remember everything. Maybe three friends would probably have been a better number. Just like he had three hyenas. Like that might be part of the things that hurt it. But I think it's too smart. If that's really saying a bad thing, it's too well done. It was too well thought out.
Mhm.
Just
Mm.
you know, very. I said I enjoyed it. For me, it was a great movie for me. My kids liked it, but I asked them, "Do you want to go see it again?" And I know we're okay. I actually want to go see Trolls.
And one thing I saw somebody say, this is like a PG-13 movie packaged
Exactly,
in a G like looking movie, which is fine
and
because
that's
some of
why
the
it's
best
PG.
animated yeah, yeah, that's why it's PG right in the middle.
Yeah.
But somebody that's fine because like the great animated movies are very mature, but they're kid friendly. I think this is still kid friendly because you get a lot of butt jokes with Valentino. You get the star is very cute. The star. I enjoyed what the star was going after, but because it's like, yeah, he's not gonna flat out make your wish. He's gonna kind of show you. Even that was kind of mature, because they asked the wish, the star, like, oh, just grant my wish. And he's like, that's not how it works, man. It's like you have to find your inner strength to pursue your own wish,
Mhm.
like stuff like that. So that it's mature
Just
stuff.
too.
You know,
It's a little bit too mature,
yeah,
too well done,
yeah,
too well thought out. Like it
yeah.
your only crime is that you did it too well. You thought about things too well. You have to dumb it down, and I hate to say it for dumb it down for kids, but you need to make it you know just less mature. And if you did it, I think it makes more money.
So we're gonna rate this. We do things nice and easy here. No 1 through 10, ABCs, all that good stuff. We do things now, later, never. Now means you got to go watch it right now. Later means you can wait till it's on streaming, and never means you can skip it altogether and not even waste your time. What are you giving Wish, Brian?
For Thanksgiving weekend with family, this is the exact movie you need.
Hmm.
I think it entertains the kids enough. Once again, I don't think it's going to be one of those things that they're going. I have to go buy it, but it entertains the kids enough that they're going to watch it and really be, you know, enthralled in it. And then older people are going to be able to enjoy it because of the story and what it's telling you, and all the little nuances that really make it good. So for me, it's definitely a now. I think it came out in the right time. I am disappointed by the hate But what my hope is that the Christmas season and the fact that there's a lack of December great movies, that it gets some type of ground swelling that people will at least be able to objectively look at it and give it its flowers for where it is. And you could say things that are critical because I've been critical of the movie too.
Mhm.
But at least give it its flowers for where it's due. I'm hoping that we round out, and if it makes $300 million, I'm happy. I'll be very happy. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm right there. I'm gonna give it a now. I think a lot of the hate is superficial hate and nitpicking. Overall, like I think the music is very fun. I thought the animation was pretty, and the voice acting was great. And the singing themselves, Ariana DeBose, holy wow, man, she can sing. She was really, really great. Even Chris Pine, which I didn't think, could sing, he did a pretty good job too, with his songs. But yeah, I think this movie pays a lot of tributes to older stuff. And I really like, obviously it's made for kids, but I think the main audience might be some like true Disney fans, and you might get into some of those like the shills they're called or whatever. Obviously, they're gonna watch it no matter what. But I think a lot of like Disney adults or people who might want to give Disney a shot again after like, oh, I hate what they did with this and that. Like this might be a good one to like, oh, maybe it's a little bit old school kind of thing where just her doing her thing. Rotten Tomatoes. So obviously the tomato meter, the critics, 165 critics gave it a review at 49%. And that's where it's been at. It's been around right around 50-ish. Even before it released. But the audience is at 81% with 500 plus verified. So, it's not bad. 80 is really good. Excuse me.
But audience, as they always kind of want to say, can be manipulated, can say whatever you wanted to say. But
the verified
what worries me is that the box office on Thanksgiving weekend didn't hit.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to come here and talk about a movie that made $45 million and it didn't hit on Thanksgiving weekend.
No, I kind of knew this wasn't going to be number one, with what it was going against.
Almost number 4.
But that's what we think about the Wish Disney movie. I think we're a little bit more enjoying it than a lot of other people. But art is subjective at the end of the day. So if you don't like it and you have valid reasons, who are we to say you're wrong? But we want to know what you guys think. So if you're not watching live, if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about Wish. Did you like it? You hate it? Somewhere in between. Let us know what your favorite song was. Stuff like that about it. But let us know what you think. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. You can come and join us and be part of the show every Monday and Thursday. We're talking movies, TV, streaming, movie news, rumors, all that good stuff. So you can come and join us live. But we appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us during the live show. That is it for us for the night. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.